We did. Yeah. I don't know.
We're the only. There's what?
No,
two?
we're not going to talk in specifics about it. I don't think that'd be a good idea.
All right. But I'm just saying. I mean, don't you worry about that? I worry
Well,
about
I think anyone who owns an office building would worry about that.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, the whole thing is.
Right.
I just keep thinking that one of these months we're going to have this huge turnaround, and maybe I'm just wrong and waiting for something that's never going to
I
happen.
think a lot of people still are not back in the office, right? Don't you think?
Well, if our current reality is any indication, yeah.
How about if they turned the building into apartments and we just had an apartment?
Listen, my husband just asked that. He was like, you know what? They could turn your building into apartments and
Yeah.
like we could live there.
Yeah.
That'd be key for me. Could get out of the basement.
Great. We could get you some windows.
Out of the
Seriously,
basement.
Milo could ride the elevator. He could be
don't-
really into that.
But you wouldn't it be horrible to like work and live in the same space?
Yes, we were. I mean, we were kidding. We weren't serious about
No,
it.
right. But still, be a short commute.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, it'd be better than working from home.
And Giant Eagle's right down the road.
Exactly. And
So-
the Giant Eagle people are very nice here.
Very nice.
Very nice. I enjoy them very much.
Yes. You can stop by today and get yourself an ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, because it's National Ice Cream Sandwich Day.
I like this.
We're going to talk about it at 5:50 today, and we're going to talk to. We're not going to talk. Well, I'm going to talk to you actually. But what we're going to talk about is a little survey I saw online of the best tasting grocery store ice cream sandwiches
Oh, really?
ranked.
Do you remember the?
There's a local product which is included in the
is
list.
Really? A local ice cream sandwich. Do you remember the Kennywood ice cream sandwich? Oh,
I don't think I do.
oh my gosh! I mean, it was
Christy?
like
No, the only ice cream I remember at Kennywood is the big cones.
Yeah,
No,
with
no.
that you dip in the nuts.
Yeah.
Or yeah,
No, this was
with
like
that
the-
cherry on top.
as you were leaving, as you were exiting Kennywood. For
Yeah.
years, I did this. You'd go to I don't know.
The yellow thing, the yellow place on the right, the little yellow roundhouse where they sold fudge.
No, it was a little roundhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, they sold an ice cream brick, and the sandwich was 2 hot waffles, mini waffles that were hot. Oh my goodness gracious! It was excellent for years and years and years.
Was there chocolate on that?
No,
Or no, just
no.
a waffle and ice cream.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you,
Cinnamon? Nothing.
Simple, beautiful, delicious,
Yeah,
yummy. Yeah, wish they'd
I
bring
like
back.
that ice cream thing though.
Yeah.
In the square, it was like the rectangular.
Oh, that's
ice
still
cream
there.
ball.
Is that still there?
It is
You know
still
what I
there,
mean?
yeah.
With a cherry on top.
Yeah,
maraschino
very good.
cherry.
Well, I always gave that to a friend because I don't like a maraschino
Of course.
cherry.
Right, of course. Buzzkill.
You guys,
Seriously, why? You
A
think it-
maraschino cherry tastes like
Heaven.
Kool-Aid.
No, it tastes like
It
fabulous.
tastes like a little block of Jello, which has been petrified in Kool-Aid.
That is not true at all.
That is true.
No, yeah.
I think it is.
All right. We ran the gamut there.
Anyway, it's coming up.
Chili, ice
coming
cream
up at
sandwiches, and
5:50.
maraschino cherries.
Also on today's show, why are requests for plastic surgery reversals on the rise? Talk about working from home, right? Plastic surgery went up because everybody was looking at themselves on Zoom.
Right.
Right. And now,
Right.
2 years later, people are looking at themselves in the mirror and thinking, why do I look so bad?
My cat eyes, I thought they were going to look good, but now the cat eyes don't look so good.
Oh, gosh. We'll also talk about the hands of God, finding God in creation, and it's never too early to start with your kids, telling them about who Jesus is. That's going to be coming up in just a couple minutes, but I've got 4 important things to talk about. before
Fabulous.
then.
Without any further waffling around, please give us the top 4 at 4.
It's a Tuesday, people. August 2nd, 2022.
Here it is.
Number 1. You've heard that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi landed in Taiwan's capital of Taipei today. You know, it was a controversial trip, and we didn't
Big
even
time.
know that we talked to Greg Clugston live from the White House yesterday, and he said, look, her people haven't even said for sure it's happening.
Big tease.
Well, it happened. Anyway, the White House has said it had no control over Pelosi's decision to visit the island.
None. She's like a rogue.
Yeah, right. Reading an article on CBS News today, this kind of jumped out at me. And I knew this, theoretically, but reading the line, as the second in line for the presidency, Pelosi is the highest ranking U.S. official to visit Taiwan in 25 years.
Second in
Think
line.
on that.
So why did she go?
Well, she's always been a supporter of Taiwan, as am I. I seem to remember her waving a Taiwanese flag in Tiananmen Square when she was
What? No way. No way.
I'm pretty sure she
in
did that.
Tiananmen Square?
Yep.
Get killed.
Oh, wait, it's actually here. That was in 1991. She
What?
displayed, it wasn't a Taiwanese flag. It was a pro-democracy banner in Tiananmen Square defying Chinese officials.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, while we're talking about Taiwan, the official website of Taiwan's presidential office experienced an overseas cyber attack right before Nancy Pelosi arrived. Historically, Taiwanese websites, particularly those of the governing Democratic Progressive Party, have been targeted by Chinese hackers during critical moments like elections and crises.
Yes.
That's in today's New York Times.
All right. So bring it.
Number 2. I have a weird animal story for you.
Number 2?
I've been on like a great roll.
A
this time.
plethora.
Yeah, and I promoted it to number 2 this time.
In all the years you've done weird animal stories, this is the first time it's risen to this rank. Number 2.
I'm excited about it.
This better be a big one.
Are you ready?
Bring it.
What if it's not a big one? You're going to be so disappointed.
Then you would have kept it at 4.
Listen, scientists are trying to figure out why a giant Arctic shark was found in the Belize Barrier Reef, which is in the Caribbean.
That's a sad story.
No, it's not a sad story because he wasn't dead. No, he was alive. He was doing his thing. But it is the first time a shark of its kind has been found in Western Caribbean waters. None of the fishermen who saw the shark had ever seen anything quite like it in all their combined years of fishing, so they decided to call the authorities and say something crazy
Wow,
is
that's
happening.
cool.
Little is known about the Greenland shark, but that they are half blind and they subsist by scavenging on polar bear carcasses.
What?
Are you ready for this? This is why it was promoted to number 2. They can live up to 500 years.
Come on. A shark? 500 years?
Making them the longest living
Really?
vertebrate known to science.
Oh, I love that.
How about
That's so
they're
cool.
also huge, by the way. They are 23 feet long and weigh up to 1.5 tons.
Nice.
And they're around bay leaves.
Because you know why? He was chilly. He had just had it.
It's like, there's got to be better food
So I'm
somewhere
going,
else.
I'm gonna go
Anyway,
up.
scientists say that they're potentially roaming the world's oceans from pole to equator all the time, but usually they're deep and humans have never seen them
Came
before.
up. Oh, that's super cool. Okay, that's
Was that
number
good?
2.
Okay, was that good?
That was
Thanks,
excellent.
you guys.
Yeah, very nice.
Number 3.
Good job.
An NFL-led investigation determined that the Miami Dolphins used unprecedented tampering in their failed pursuits of Tom Brady and former head coach Sean Payton over the last 3 seasons. The league stripped the team of draft picks and suspended and fined owner Stephen Ross in response.
Good.
How about that?
I like it.
Yeah, I can't stand the Dolphins. They'll be docked their first-round selection in the 2023 draft and their third-round selection in 2024.
Very nice.
And number 4, Jose Quintana and Chris Stratton are gone. They were Pirates, but now they're not. They were traded to the hated Cardinals in exchange for Johan Oviedo, a 24-year-old right-handed pitcher, several years of club control. Also, a guy named Malcolm Nunez, who's an infielder. And that's where we are with the Pirates, you guys.
Good.
Okay, that's your top 4 at 4.
Seriously. I have socks that are older than these guys were Pirates. That's
Listen,
how it is.
I loved Quintana. I thought he was a great. Yes, he was. He had a great year.
You can't love somebody who's only here for a cup of coffee.
All right.
You can't.
I did love. I liked him. Okay, I liked him a lot. You're right, Love.
I mean, seriously. I mean, it's not as though it's Willie, right?
No, it's
Or
not
Dave
Willie,
Parker.
but
you love those guys.
He was the only pitcher other than Bednar that I looked forward to seeing when he got on the mound.
He was here for like 15 minutes.
He was here for the whole season.
What, this season?
Yeah.
It's like 5 months old.
I'm just saying.
Okay. You've got a low bar for love.
Look,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm desperate.
Well, if you're desperate, you shouldn't follow the Pirates.
All right.
That's the case
It's
of
been
that.
a very depressing
Okay,
conversation.
Sunday school?
Except for the shark.
Very good. That was good.
Thanks. Coming up next, Martha Daniel. It's never too early to talk to your kids about faith.
Sunday school?
Yeah, that's good, but also home.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
Also when you're driving around, when you're listening to the radio.
All right. Martha Daniels next.
101.5 WORD.
It's summer in Pittsburgh, but Word FM is already talking about heading back to school.
Back to school!
If you've ever considered sending your child to a Christian school, but the cost was holding you back, check out the WORD half-price tuition deals now at wordfm.com. Send your child to a school that's teaching them the same values you're teaching at home for the full year, but only pay for half. See the complete list of schools now at wordfm.com/tuitions.
In the good old summertime, in the good old summertime. It may sound a little corny, but it really is the good old summertime at the Springhouse in 84. The sun is shining, the cows are out on the pasture, the sweet corn is almost ready, the Springhouse produce tables are filled with freshly picked vegetables, and we're up to our elbows in ice cream. And you know what? That all makes the Springhouse a very fun place to be. Why not jump in the car right now for a country drive to 84? Come for homemade lunch or supper, or just to eat ice cream and enjoy sweet country air. Be sure to take home our famous chocolate milk and baked goods. Don't forget that. We're just 4 miles east of Washington on Route 136, and it doesn't take long to get to us. Call 228-3339 for more directions to the Springhouse in 84.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-940-6161. That's 1-800-940-6161. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-940-6161. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Your local radio stations are here for you. No subscriptions or monthly fees necessary. We're here to give you the news, weather, and traffic you need and the music you love. But if the foreign-owned record labels get their way, it could stop the music. They want Congress to force radio stations to pay them more money simply to play their music. Don't let radio go silent. Text LOCAL to 52886 and tell Congress to protect local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
You know, the moment during worship where the worship leader or the pastor will say, hey, it's time for the kids to be dismissed. Now, you know, I went to church for a long time, and I paid the moment no mind. None whatsoever. I didn't have kids. You'd see the kids walk out, and you go, that's very cute. Now let's just get on with it. Mm-hmm. And what went on upstairs, to me, I paid it no mind.
It was like another land.
It really, until, of course, we had a baby.
And then it became like a thing of epic importance.
Holy smokes. I couldn't believe how I switched into another gear. It was everything. Who's upstairs, what's being said, what's being taught, what about the theology? I mean, it changed my view of what it was to be a church member. All those years, I just, gave that short shrift. Well, Martha Daniels with us. She's got a brand new work. It's called It's Never Too Early, and it talks about the life of an education of a child in Christ. Martha's with us live in studio. Martha, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure.
So, Martha, you've worked in this field for a long time.
Yes.
How long?
45 years.
That's a long time.
That is.
Okay, what drew you to it at first? And what made you stay is probably a more important question.
I think the easy answer is when I started in ministry after I graduated from college, I had a degree in Christian education. I worked for an organization called Young Life.
Oh, sure.
And Young Life prided itself on cutting-edge ministry. And at that time, in the late 70s, early 80s, cutting-edge ministry was all about reaching high school students for Christ.
Sure.
And as the 80s progressed, the age that a child was cutting edge became younger and younger, like middle school. So Young Life started different middle school ministries called Wildlife, and some other organizations and churches also got more involved in doing more middle school ministry as well. And that trend continued, actually, until about the late 90s, beginning of 2000, George Barna wrote a book called Transforming Children into Spiritual Champions. And in the book, he quotes a statistic that says that if a person is going to come to Christ, that the likelihood of that happening is greatest between the ages of 5 and 12.
Wow.
It lessens after that. And so when you think about cutting edge ministry and where we should be putting our emphasis and our focus, it's not the older people or even teenagers. At that point, they already charted their course to some extent, but it's reaching children when they're more malleable. So that's that drew me to stay in children's ministry.
That's a place of great impact.
Right.
Okay, so talk about the longevity of a child's life. So you think about 5-year-old kid, or maybe a 4-year-old kid who comes to preschool for the first time at Sunday school, or goes up, like John is saying, during a church service. And from that point to the time that child graduates from high school, that's a significant investment that a church is making in a child.
Oh, yes.
Right? So talk about how you see that. You've seen a lot of things. I'm sure you've seen good and bad. What are the best things about what churches do with kids between those ages?
Again, I think focusing on children's ministries and trying to create programs for them, and then thinking through, as I tried to do in my book, of a continuity of what's appropriate at different ages and stages in a child's life, specifically milestone moments or transitional moments that occur from...
Like what would a milestone moment be?
Well, generally like starting school after being in preschool. Well, first of all, first milestone moment is being born.
Right.
But then moving into elementary school, moving into middle school, moving into high school, things like that are transitional times for a student, are also times that we can come alongside them and help the families connect with their kids and prepare them, ready them, resource them.
To me, Martha, that's a really big deal, because Kathy tells the story, and I think this is a pretty common story. It happened in my family as well. For all good intentions, your children are born. You feel like, I'm mature enough in my faith. I'm reading my Bible. I'm studying. And then I start to do family devotionals. Mm-hmm. We've both been very poor examples of family devotionals.
We've done some really horrible ones on our own, trying to muddle through.
It's a very particular skill set. I mean, and it's something that's not to be taken lightly. You obviously, in many ways, I'm not saying it's family devotionals, but the idea of devotionals and engaging a young mind to opening up the heft of what the gospel is, to narrow that down, to make it accessible in tiny bites, that would seem to me, from my own perspective and my own failures, a very difficult proposition.
And a good thing left to professionals.
Yes.
But I think that family devotionals, we did not do those at our house. But we always made it a practice to spend time with our kids before they went to bed every day. And we would read stories with them, and kids always want to stay up later, and so we just kept on that one. And the final thing that we did was we would read from the Bible, and then we would also do it individually with each child. So we didn't try to pull the clan together, sit down and do the whole thing, but actually give each child individual attention.
Makes sense.
And then talk about what happened in their day, what's going on, so that could be then the source for our prayers together.
Right.
So this is the family side. We talked about the church side. This is the family side.
Right.
And you're saying that for it to be really effective between those ages of 5 and 12 that are so important, you have to have both, both working together in trajectory?
Yeah, I think that's important for the church to help families be able to know how to do exactly what you've said. How does a novice person know how to arrange that or set up a situation that's liable to be successful and meaningful for both the parent and the child? So that's just one example of that. But the church can coach the families to be able to do
so
that.
the parents aren't on their own. We're talking about a new book called It's Never Too Early. Martha Daniel is live in studio with us. We're talking about her 40-how-many-year career?
45
year career working in children's ministry.
So Martha, 45 years, I mean, you've seen, as you're talking about, early on with Young Life, trends come and go.
Right.
Can you talk about that? I mean, the gospel, of course, is everything, but how you communicate the power of the gospel, that's kind of come and gone. I mean, I'm old enough to remember, new math, and new math, devolved into something else. I'm not quite sure new math was exactly, what we needed. The traditional route, I feel as though through my mathematics education was more powerful. But what about that? I mean, I'm sure you've seen positive changes and things that you kind of thought, well, we thought this was going to be successful, not so much in hindsight.
Well, then that's why ministry is dynamic. It has to be ever-changing. It has to change with what's going on around
the
us.
culture.
It just can't stay the same. I think back to the late 70s, and the world was different then than it is today. There were many more two-parent families back in the 70s than there are today.
Sure.
There were a lot of stay-at-home moms. That's not the case anymore.
Right.
And life was supposed to get easier and with technology coming along, but you look at people's frenetic lives and life is just sped up in crazy ways. And also, when it comes to families and the choices that kids have to make,
right,
there's a plethora of activities that kids can be involved in, and parents find themselves running hither and yon to get everybody to everything that they're supposed to be doing. So the dynamic of what's going on in families is quite different than, say, 4 decades ago.
Or the priorities.
And the priorities. And so if you were to say 40 years ago, what's regular church attendance looking like? Well, that would be showing up once a week on Sunday mornings for most people, and then they might come back to youth group, or they might do some other different things.
Wednesdays,
well,
yeah.
Today, midweek programs are very difficult to do. Most church attendance is 2 times a month or less. So we can't expect the church to do all the heavy lifting in terms of the spiritual development of our children.
So we need to take as families more responsibility.
Sure. If you're only showing up about 2 hours a month,
that's not good.
There's not a lot that's going to be happening. So the idea behind this book is to try to help families live out the faith within the rhythm of their daily lives.
Okay, that's really
It's
good.
not another program. It's not a curriculum. It's not anything like that. It's just ideas for how you can incorporate your faith, intentionalize your faith for your children so that they can experience God in real and relevant ways in their lives.
And what I hear you say is a lot of this seems to me common sense. It's just there's an intentionality in how you choose to communicate the worship experience.
Keeping it as a priority.
Right, and all those things.
Right. Yeah, it's important to be intentional, because otherwise you just say, well, the church will take care of it, or we'll get around to this. And it really does require some thinking about this in advance and what you're going to do and what priorities you're going to set for
And the
your
church
family.
can't take, first of all, the family has to take responsibility for it anyway. But certainly in these times, if you're only showing up at church twice a month, the church isn't going to be able to handle that
No,
for you.
they're not going to even know you.
Right. And they're not going to know your child either.
Right. And it turns out that parents and grandparents both, as they've done studies, are the primary spiritual influencers
Sure.
of their children.
Sure.
It's not the youth pastor. It's not the pastor of the church. It's family members that have the greatest impact in the lives of their children.
No, I see this. I mean, everybody who has children want their children to know Jesus, and so like in my own family, as a child, I'm one of 7 kids. I see my brothers and sisters. Now, everybody went through seasons of being super engaged as children, falling away, which I think is pretty common, as teens or young adults, and then coming back to Jesus, maybe later once you have children yourself. I see this in my own family, and my fear is I see my own kids and I think, okay, look, my kids, they're not nearly as engaged as I'd hope them to be. But I do know that when we sit down as a family and we have dinner, it's a small thing, but it's a big thing for me that we say a prayer before we have the meal. It's a tiny little thing. And I think, okay, these guys, I know that they know that I know Jesus. I know that they know Jesus. But the regular rhythms of worship and the discipline in that, fallen back some, but at least there's a little tiny marker that I know that there's something there. It's really key, isn't it?
It is, and that's so important, just that it comes naturally out of your life together, that it's
It is a
not
natural thing.
something that you're creating
Or enforcing.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Or
so,
trying to make up, trying to fake it.
yeah.
Because kids smoke that out.
Right away. They know it's
Immediately.
BS. Martha, as you're with us here and we're talking about it's never too early. I mean, this in many ways, it makes sense to me. I wish I would have had this as a young parent to help my family, to engage me as the father, the spiritual head in many ways, because I feel like I did okay. I could have done better.
So how can people get this, Martha?
You can go on Amazon, and it's just look for It's Never Too Early by Martha Daniel.
Okay. The book is called It's Never Too Early, as she said. We've been talking to Martha Daniel. Martha, a real pleasure to see you again. Thanks for your good work on this.
Thank you.
And even more than that, for your good work over so many years with so many kids.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
This is good. Families need this.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is Kathy Emmons. John and I are grateful for the encouragement we have from all of our advertisers, and especially our friends at Grove City College. Thanks to everyone at Grove City for supporting the ride home.
If you are 65 or older, you know this. It's really frustrating to deal with out-of-pocket medical expenses, watching your hard-earned dollars just flying out the window. Well, here's something that can really help, and it's worth taking a minute to look into. Medi-Share has a new option called Medi-Share 65 Plus. Medi-Share is a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it really is a community. People encourage and pray for each other. And Medi-Share 65 Plus is a low-cost option for those with Medicare Parts A and B that fills in the gaps where Medicare stops. You can lock in one low monthly price for up to 10 years. It's great for peace of mind. And you can use your Medicare-approved doctor and get prescription savings, dental and vision savings. Very worth looking into, and it's so easy to find out why people rave about the customer service at Medi-Share. They're great to talk to on the phone. Here's the number. Call 833-SHARE-55. That's 833-SHARE-55. 833-SHARE-55.
Farm Safe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
We are everywhere on your radio at 101.5 WORD FM Pittsburgh, at wordfm.com, the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
Let's face it, we love Alexa, and we'd love to let her find your favorite radio station. This one, of course. She could find us easier if we taught her a simple skill. To get started, simply say, Alexa, enable the word Pittsburgh skill. And after she confirms, you can then say, Alexa, play the word Pittsburgh. That's all you have to do, and Alexa will learn how to find us. You can listen to us through your Amazon Echo, Echo Show, Echo Dot, and Amazon Tap devices. Alexa, what is your favorite radio station?
That's easy. Word 101.5.
Clear skies expected for tonight. We'll see a nighttime low of 61. Mostly sunny tomorrow with a high of 89. Tomorrow night, mainly clear, humid, low 72. Thursday will be very warm and humid with intervals of clouds and sunshine. A thunderstorm in the area late in the afternoon will reach a high Thursday of 88. Friday, cloudy, not as warm. It will be humid. We'll see a couple of thunderstorms at a high of 78. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon.
I got good news and bad news for you.
Tell me.
What do you want first?
The bad news.
Okay. The PA Turnpike tolls, John, are going up for the 15th straight year. just in case you had some faint glimmer of hope that there would be sense that would be, utilized in the state government. That is not the case, and we are getting more tolls.
How can this be?
I cannot. It's so shocking. It really is. I don't know why it's shocking, because we've had 15 years of it, but I still am surprised by it.
15 consecutive years.
15 consecutive years.
So I wonder what the say like Pittsburgh to Breezewood, what it was 15 years ago as opposed to what it is now. I mean, how much percentage-wise has it gone up?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to, for it to go, 15 cents, but something tells me it's been a heck of a lot more than that over 15 straight years. I don't get it. And again, during the pandemic, when the federal government was throwing all this money around, I thought, the Turnpike Commission, they're going to get millions. Maybe that's, going to stem the flow a little bit of all these tolls. And now, of course, do you have an Easy Pass?
Yep.
Okay.
You don't even know.
You really don't kind of know, right? There's no ticket there.
No.
So, and I wonder, for those who don't have an Easy Pass, which if you don't, you need to get one. I mean, you're paying really 50% more than those who do have an Easy Pass if you don't have one.
Right, but the bad news about the Easy Pass is that when rates go up, you don't know because it's already automatically paid.
But you don't know anyway because you just go through, they take a picture of your license plate, and then they send you a bill. My kid traveled across the country. He was like, all of a sudden, these envelopes started showing up like 6 weeks after the fact. Like, what's this? What's this? What's this? It's you without the Easy Pass, my friend.
Welcome to adulthood, my friend. Exactly, that's the way it is.
The heck. All right, that is bad news.
So the toll increase is 5% for Easy Pass.
This year?
Yes. The new rates will go into effect.
Has it been 5% over every year for 15 years? I mean, can you imagine that?
That was the same as last year. That's all I know for sure.
So 10%? Oh, yeah, probably so. Good gravy.
Okay. All right. So that's the bad news.
All right. Good news?
All right. The good news is it poured today on my way in.
I like it.
Right. It's going to rain on and off for the next couple of days.
Yep.
And according to the Trib today, this type of August is going to be good news for corn and bean crops. Here's the thing. I don't buy corn on the cob here in the Pittsburgh area.
Why?
Because my husband grew up in Lancaster. And once you've had corn from Lancaster, whatever, it's just Western PA corn is kind of disappointing to me.
Whoa!
So I know I know that's like a shot across the bow.
It is.
I'm just saying that maybe after reading this article,
Joe King.
After reading this article, I'm going to try to come around.
Yeah, please do. Local's better, Kath. When you drive somewhere, you drive to Lancaster to get corn?
Every time you drive to Lancaster, you get corn.
Really?
I mean, when it's in summer, you're not getting it in May or you're not getting it in January.
Okay. Well, local's better.
Okay.
It just is.
Are you a bean fan?
Oh, I love beans. Yellow beans, green beans. Yeah. What the heck? Don't you love beans?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I like?
Tell me.
3-bean salad.
Yeah, not that big of a deal.
It's a huge deal. How can you not like that? Oh, you're missing out.
101.5 WORD.
This week on Through the Bible, join us in Acts for a look at the issues facing the early church. Like a startup company, they needed to establish core values and guidelines for operation. Find out more about these matters that Luke called no small dispute as we watch how godly people disagree and then teach us how to resolve conflict.
Through the Bible, this evening at 9 p.m. on 101.5 WORD.
Hi, I'm Todd Nettleton, and this is the Voice of the Martyrs Radio. Philadelphio Santos Perez trafficked drugs before he came to faith in Christ. Today he is a pastor faithfully sharing the gospel in Mexico despite persecution. In his home village, Pastor Philadelphio has been arrested and paid huge fines for refusing to participate in the village's traditional pagan festivals. He has even been denied food and water. Pastor Philadelphio no longer lives in his village and continually faces opposition because of his beliefs, yet he feels called to continue sharing the gospel. Pray Pastor Philadelphio would continue to share the good news about Jesus Christ throughout Mexico with those who are opposed to the gospel.
I will not let my brothers and sisters suffer in silence, nor will I let them serve alone. To join me in prayer for persecuted Christians, go to vomradio.net.
Windows are us. You tried the rest, now try the best.
When it's time to replace your roof, siding, gutters, and downspouts, entry doors, and of course windows, you can count on Windows R Us, the area's premier exterior replacement company. This is John Steigerwald. With over 50 years experience in the home remodeling industry, Windows R Us offers repair and replacement for all your exterior home projects. Why pay double with some other companies? Windows R Us will always give you the best price on the best in-class products, backed by the best warranties in the industry, all with zero sales pressure. And speaking of zero, right now get zero interest financing for 12 months and no processing fee with prices set to increase on all exterior products. Lock in your quote today. Schedule a free estimate and inspection today at WindowsRUsPittsburgh.com. You've tried the rest, now try the best. WindowsRUsPittsburgh.com.
Windows R Us. You've tried the rest, now try the best.
I truly have never worked in a place that I've loved so much.
Cara Bell, principal at Jubilee Christian School in Mount Lebanon.
The feeling is so warm and open when you walk in. They're very passionate about teaching, passionate about the school, and they love the children. Everybody's willing to step up and help one another. There's just so much love there and compassion for each other, and it's just a nice, warm place to be.
Imagine, believe, achieve. Jubilee Christian School, K through 7th grade, now enrolling for the fall at jubileecs.org.
Mission of Mercy is back once again at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. Free dental clinic, and it's been a huge success across Western Pennsylvania. Keith Young is with us. Keith is the chairman of Mission of Mercy Pittsburgh, here to tell us about the details. Hey, Keith, how you doing?
Hi, John. Hi, Kathy. How are you today?
Yeah, good to hear from you, Keith. We're excited to hear that this is going on again this year. Tell us the details.
Yeah, it's great. Actually, just to even take it a little step further, we have expanded from beyond just dental this year to eye care and hearing care. So the opportunity to have those services done, but also get free eyeglasses and free hearing aids in the process.
Well, that's awesome.
Holy heck.
Yeah, I find out hearing aids are expensive.
Yeah.
But they are. So, but we're Mission of Mercy Pittsburgh, and we've been doing the clinic since 2017. So we, other than the pandemic year of 2020, and we are here to help folks that are underserved, who are underinsured, or have insurance and have high copays. It doesn't matter. There are no eligibility requirements for folks to come. You show up as long as you can, have the medical stand. We put people through medical triage to make sure they can withstand the treatments. But we will treat you as you come through.
Really? Okay, so this is amazing, Keith. Absolutely free. I mean, there's nothing that's going to be asked. If you have a felt need for dental care, eye care, hearing care, you show up at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. Give us the dates and the times.
Yeah, it's August 4th, 5th, and 6th, but the 4th is setup day. We do 100 chairs, have 12 eye lanes, have 12 hearing lanes, so it takes a lot of effort to get that set up on Thursday. But then the clinic, and that's the most important part for our patients, is the 5th and the 6th. We open the doors at 6 a.m., first procedures at 7 a.m., and the last procedure usually about 4 for both days. And people line up early. Last year we had people starting to line up at midnight the night before.
No kidding. People showed up at midnight. They set up a chair and say, "This is my spot." I mean, that's got to tell you something about the power of the ministry, Keith, that people are so hungry for free dental and eye and hearing care.
That is very true. The need, until I got into this, and I like how you call it a ministry because I think that's really what it is. Until I got into this, I didn't realize the extent of the need for dental care for people in Western Pennsylvania, right in our backyard. Because this is, there's some of these folks have not seen a dentist ever. They haven't seen them in 5, 6, 7 years. And I think you both are probably well aware of that's not only a bad thing from your dental hygiene, but also from your physical health, which causes heart problems, infections, can go to other parts of the body. So we think it's a really critical service.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's interesting. I was at a family picnic about a month or so ago, and one of the elderly relatives in my family, they confided. They said, I haven't been to a dentist in 8 years. And I said, what the heck? And the guy, he goes, well, I'm on Medicare, and, dental insurance from my union doesn't cover it. So he said, I've just kind of let it go. And now, 8 years after the fact, I'm afraid to go. I can't afford it, and I'm afraid to go. So I told him about Mission of Mercy, and his ears perked up right away. He couldn't believe that such a thing would exist. There'd be free dental, eye, and hearing care. So the word is out, and you're doing just excellent work, Keith.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying me, but this is such a big effort by a lot of people, and what this has become in my mind is a true community event in Pittsburgh and Western Pennsylvania, because we already have 1,280 volunteers signed up for this event this year, and we'll probably treat 1,100, 1,200 patients. There's a lot of folks, and then we've got like 25 different companies in the Pittsburgh area that support this.
Really?
And so when I look at this, to me, this is the heart of Pittsburgh coming together to serve those who truly need this kind of care.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then over these 2 days, it's really essentially 2 days, though. Isn't that true? Is it the 5th and the 6th?
That is correct.
Okay, so then over the course of those 2 days, you'll see, can you guesstimate how many people will walk through the doors?
Yeah, I'm assuming we'll hit 1,100, 1,200 patients this year. Yeah, which is a lot of folks. We have treated in the 4 years that we did it, because we missed the pandemic year, but we have treated almost 4,200 patients in those 4 years.
Okay, now what about, so it's amazing what you're saying. If people are showing up at midnight, before, doors open at 6 o'clock on the 5th and the 6th, what's that like? I mean, is there a website for people to go and find out more information? Anything, that's physical, they kind of go, I know about this, I want to tell my Aunt Louise or my Uncle George about this. What can people do to find out more?
Sure. There's no registration, but the website is pretty simple, mompgh.org. So mompgh.org. And all the information is there. There's a whole section just for patients. They can go in and find out, what it's like and what you have to do. But if you want to show up and come down to the convention center, and I always tell people this, don't be ashamed, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
This is a really good thing, and it's something that's going to help long-term for all health. And so I hope that people who are hearing this that need the care say, yep, I'm going to get down there on the 5th or the 6th.
That's terrific. That's Keith Young, chairman of Mission of Mercy, Pittsburgh. Coming up August 5th and 6th is the free dental clinic, expanded this year to eye and ear care as well at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. The website is mom.org. Is that right, Keith?
No, mompgh.org. So
mompgh.org. Forgive me. mompgh.org for all the information.
Correct.
But be there if you need it August 5th and 6th.
Keith, thanks an awful lot. Congratulations to you. Like we said, it's a beautiful ministry. All the people you're going to help are greatly needed here in Western Pennsylvania. Thanks for your advocacy.
Yeah, and thank you so much for getting the word out for us. We truly appreciate it and hope we can do this every year.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-928-3355. That's 1-800-928-3355. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-928-3355. That's 1-800-928-3355.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Going to a jewelry store for the perfect custom engagement ring is so yesterday. At Mock & Company, your luxury concierge jeweler, your personal designer awaits. Begin the conversation at mockandcojewelry.com. Share ideas over social, email, or text. Get expert advice on metals and stones. Your exact 3D design will be ready within days, and the Monroeville team eager to begin your one-of-a-kind creation. Visit mockandcojewelry.com and book your virtual appointment today.
A beautiful day here at All About Golf in Butler, where 14-year-old Jimmy and his dad are on the executive 9-hole course.
He's been practicing all year at All About Golf's driving range, featuring Top Tracer technology.
Is that a Ping G425 driver Dad just pulled out of their Ping Hoofer golf bag?
Yes, and Jimmy's set of new hybrids was chosen with the help of All About Golf's Ping certified club fitter at the Pro Shop.
That's up and down for par at All About Golf in Butler. Practice, learn, play at allaboutgolf.com.
What is a warrior? At Portersville Christian School, it's more than a team name. A warrior is taught to serve, to passionately model the love of Christ toward neighbor, community, and world. To learn as they cultivate academic excellence and a lifelong love of learning from kindergarten to senior year. And to lead through Christian character and integrity. Are you a warrior? Discover Portersville Christian School just 15 minutes north of Cranberry, where warriors are made at ourpcs.org.
As a veteran media sales professional, a six-figure income is within your reach. I'm Andrew Pawlowski, General Sales Manager of Word FM. Here at Salem Media Pittsburgh, we offer highly experienced sales and marketing professionals like you all the support and tools necessary to reach your earning potential through custom on-air campaigns, unique events, and over 50 social media and digital products. To learn more about our open position, please email me at andrew@salempittsburgh.com. Salem Media is an equal opportunity employer.
The Gateway Clipper Cruise, August 16th.
Listen, we're running out of tickets here, friends.
We are running out of tickets. It's a good thing.
We just got a text from our boss a couple hours ago saying, hey, tickets are dwindling. So if people want to go, you got to get your ticket now.
Yeah. 16th. So here we are. So that's 2 weeks from today. Right?
It is 2 weeks from today.
Very nice. Okay, good.
I better get my shoes.
You have an outfit?
No, but I was thinking I'd get a new pair of shoes.
Really?
Why is that so shocking?
Well, because new shoes on a boat surface, wouldn't you be a little slippery?
Idea?
You'd be like flying off.
Well, I'm not going to get like some kind of towering heel thing.
It makes me,
Last year I wore yellow shoes.
Yeah.
You didn't like the yellow shoes?
No, I don't remember them.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm just saying.
It hurts me a little.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about fashion.
Okay.
I'm not going to opine about that. Anyway, August 16th.
What do you wear? What you get an outfit picked up?
Like probably what I have on right now.
The world for men and women is so different.
You just
different.
You put on a shirt and a pair of pants. You're presentable. You look okay. You walk out the door.
If I just put on a shirt and a pair of pants, I wouldn't have a career. I can tell you that.
I mean, you just go.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not going to wear a sailor outfit or something like that.
I don't want you to be like Gene Kelly in Anchors Away.
Yeah, that'd be great though, wouldn't it? Who is the woman?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Frank Sinatra, Gene Kelly.
And I don't know.
There were two other ones.
That's a good movie.
Who were? Why can't we think of the other two?
I don't know. That's okay. August 16th.
Yeah. Anyways.
Come and join us.
So find tickets, wordfm.com. Buy your tickets right there. But I'm serious. Like if you want the tickets, you got to do it fast.
We had such a good time last year. The food was excellent.
Yes, it was.
It really was. And of course, being out on the boat, especially up top, fabulous, right?
And it poured last year.
Earlier on.
And I don't mean like little rain.
Yeah.
I mean, it was torrentially downpour, like, wow, this is like flash flood type of rain.
On the lawn.
Right. And then we got out there and we thought, oh my gosh, like, are we even going to make it there?
Do?
And then 15 minutes after we pulled away from the dock, it was such a glorious night.
Lovely. Very nice. Yeah, there's something about being out on the river. I mean, look at it this way. You have a boat, but you don't have to pay for a boat.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, tickets, families are welcome.
Sure.
Kids were welcome, I believe, right?
Yep.
But I was kind of thinking about more like just a date night, right? I mean.
But it doesn't have to be, but a date night would be fine. We're going to do this or that live.
No, you keep on saying that.
Yeah.
I'm just a little leery of that.
Are you?
Well,
I think that's part of the reason I'm enjoying it so much.
Really? So wait, so you're going to walk around with a microphone on the boat? Again, what if it's wet?
I don't know. We'll have to come up with how to do it. It's not like I'm going to be with the captain. I mean, I'm going to be sloshing around. Like, we're going to be inside.
No, we're going to be up top.
No, we're going to be inside while the food. Yeah, we eat inside.
Yeah.
So I don't think you should be concerned about my shoes.
Clearly, we haven't thought this through. We have.
Oh, we're doing this or that.
We have not.
Yeah, we are.
Is there now? There's a program.
Yeah, we're
There's
doing
no
this.
program.
No, we're doing this or that.
Christy, you coming? No, look, she was thinking about it. Now she's probably going, no.
I'm definitely not coming now.
Come on.
What? Because this
you
or
better
that.
come.
She loves this.
Come,
Listen,
Christy.
It's talking, now I have to buy a whole new outfit just to go on the boat.
You don't have to put on a pair of pants and a shirt.
John's not buying an outfit,
What am I
Christy, so
buying
don't
an
worry
outfit?
about it.
I'm not going to Kennywood. It's not like 7th grade.
Oh, my
A
God.
special outfit. No one's going to know or even care.
No one's going to care.
Right? What if you get gravy on your shirt? Is there gravy on the Gateway Clipper?
I don't
Chris?
remember.
I don't think there is.
All right, wordfm.com. Buy your tickets
August 16th.
now.
Come on now.
August 16th.
All right.
Coming up soon.
Uh,
Yeah, so news comes that Amy Grant spent a couple nights in the hospital after a bad biking accident, but she's back home recovering. I'm reading here from Fox News, but unfortunately has decided to postpone her August concert dates. Amy Grant is 61. She was taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center, where she was treated for abrasions and cuts after she hit a pothole while she was biking with a friend. The good news was she was wearing a helmet, and so it sounds like her recovery is going to be A-okay, but as I said, there's going to be no performing in August.
Hey, speaking of that, a friend of ours was in a bike accident, and his bike helmet, he was wearing a helmet, which I'm always kind of, whenever I get, I'm wearing a helmet, I was kind of like, poo-poo it. But our friend, his bike helmet split in half.
And that could have been his head.
Exactly. I mean, so I do think about that.
For sure. Anyway, so bottom line is wear your helmet.
All right.
Also, you're sad to read of the passing of Ron Sider.
Oh, holy smokes. I was really surprised about it. Ron Sider has passed away. Now, you may know this name. Ron Sider.
Sojourners Magazine.
Very prominent author, seminary professor, social justice activist, I would say, is probably, what I'd hang the hat on. He was a professor at Palmer Theological Seminary, best known for his book from 1977.
Rich Christians in an Age of Hunger, right?
There you go. Excellent job. And for founding Christians for Social Action, which seeks to rally evangelicals and other Christians to put their faith to work in support of the common good. Sorry to hear the passing of Ron Sider. He certainly made his mark among a lot of people's lives.
Yep. Joined us on our show here a couple times. We appreciated that. And our sympathies go out to his family and all those he worked with over the years. So we missed Willie Nelson, who was in town on Sunday night out at Star Lake, I heard, along with Government Mule and
ZZ Top.
ZZ Top. I would have liked to have seen that show if it was. I hate going out to Star Lake, and I'm not going to do it on a Sunday because
But Willie Nelson's 89.
I know. I don't even really like Willie that much.
Why do you don't like Willie Nelson?
I appreciate the fact that he's like an institution, but it's not my favorite to listen to. But anyway, I would have gone anyway. But anyway, we missed that. But Sting is coming to town, I just read today, with the PSO.
Right.
Now, that worries me a little.
What, think it's going to be cheesy?
Well, sometimes in his desire to be kind of uppity, he can jump the shark.
Wait. What? You're saying in his desire to be kind of uppity? Who's Sting? What do you, I don't really... I don't.
So you've never seen him like with the Boston Pops or any of those?
No, I've not seen that. What is it's? You're saying it's uppity?
It's a little uppity.
Like he?
Well, I mean, because if you're like a rock pop star, you have a sense of I'm not good enough to be in this space with classical musicians.
What you think he'd be thrilled?
Well, I think he probably is thrilled, but I'm saying that it just seemed in the past that maybe he was trying a little too hard.
So like they're going to like play rock.
I love Sting. I'm not trying to pick on the guy.
I love Sting.
But
I've seen him several times. They're going to play like Roxanne with violins. Roxanne.
See what I mean? Like that has the potential to be weird. I'd be interested to see what it's like. To be honest with you, I'd love to go.
I'd love to go.
I'd love to go.
I mean, I want to see Sting. I like Sting.
Yeah.
Right? I really would like to see the Police with the PSO. I just want to see the Police.
Except that the three of them
do not like each other.
Haven't spoken probably in 2 decades.
Well, no. Anyway.
Andy Summers, Stuart Copeland.
Yeah.
And Sting, not the best of friends.
Well, because Sting's such a massive star.
Well, and because he's probably a little difficult to get along with.
I don't know.
No, I
don't want to cast
probably.
aspersions.
No,
on
sure
the
he's
man.
fine. I'd love to. I'd welcome him to the show in a hot minute. And one of his albums is in my top 10.
Which is what?
10 Summoner's Tales. One of my top 10 favorite albums ever.
This Englishman in New York, and that.
No, but that's a great.
I love that.
That is
song.
a great song.
It sure is. All right, take a break. Be right back.
101.5 WORD-FM Pittsburgh. On your smart speaker by saying, play the word Pittsburgh. And on your phone via the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
Remember, you have a choice in healthcare.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. President Biden says the U.S. killed the leader of Al-Qaeda in a drone strike over the weekend. Greg Clugston with that report.
The president announced that Ayman al-Zawahiri was the target of a counterterrorism operation in Afghanistan.
Justice has been delivered, and this terrorist leader is no more.
During an evening speech from the White House, Mr. Biden said the al-Qaeda leader carved a trail of murder and violence against Americans and American interests.
He was deeply involved in the planning of 9/11.
He said the successful strike demonstrates U.S. resolve to protect the American people. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Still waiting for a response from China after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi arrived in Taiwan, becoming the highest-ranking American official to visit the self-ruled island claimed by China in some 25 years. Her visit has triggered tensions between China and the U.S. This is...
Windows are us. You've tried the rest, now try the best.
When it's time to replace your roof, siding, gutters, and downspouts, entry doors, and of course windows, you can count on Windows R Us, the area's premier exterior replacement company. This is John Steigerwald. With over 50 years experience in the home remodeling industry, Windows R Us offers repair and replacement for all your exterior home projects. Why pay double with some other companies? Windows R Us will always give you the best price on the best in-class products, backed by the best warranties in the industry, all with zero sales pressure. And speaking of zero, right now get zero interest financing for 12 months and no processing fee with prices set to increase on all exterior products. Lock in your quote today. Schedule a free estimate and inspection today at WindowsRUsPittsburgh.com. You've tried the rest, now try the best. WindowsRUsPittsburgh.com.
Windows are us. You've tried the rest, now try the best.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon two factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at KeyCityCapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
I love seeing the transformation of a smile.
There's a reason patients love Dr. Megan Stock, voted Pittsburgh Trib's Best of the Best dentist in Northern Allegheny County for the second year in a row.
You don't have to do full mouth rehabilitation to really transform a patient's life, for a patient to be able to smile confidently and be happy with their own smile.
Exceptional dentistry meets compassionate care. Stock Family Dentistry, Perry Highway in Wexford, at stockfamilydentistry.com. When it comes to your child's education, do you feel like you have a partner in your current school? Or is it more like you're on your own? As you look ahead to next year, now's a perfect time to consider a quality Christian education with a school who will be a true educational partner for you and your family. Many of our area's finest Christian schools are offering half-price tuitions for first-time enrollees, like Robinson Township Christian School. Find a school that's right for you at wordfm.com/tuitions.
Clear skies expected for tonight. We'll see a nighttime low of 61. Mostly sunny tomorrow with a high of 89. Tomorrow night, mainly clear, humid, low 72. Thursday will be very warm and humid with intervals of clouds and sunshine. A thunderstorm in the area late in the afternoon will reach a high Thursday of 88. Friday, cloudy, not as warm. It will be humid. We'll see a couple of thunderstorms at a high of 78. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon.
Welcome to another edition of The Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem-Pittsburgh studios. And now here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Hey, good afternoon to you. Thanks for coming along, the Tuesday edition. When my wife and I met, she was working at Cornell Medical Center in New York City. And she came to Pittsburgh, we got married, and she found a job with a plastic surgeon. And so she was well versed. We'd be out somewhere, you know, at a restaurant or whatever, and she would say, "Oh, look, this. I see that person, and I can see that they've had this done." Right, which I knew nothing of. You know, like you know, cheek implants. I was like, "What? What's a cheek implant? A chin implant?" You know. Of course, any number of things, procedures done with the eyes, the brows, all these things. It's a fascinating sort of, you know, thing to delve into. And I wonder about that. You know, now I kind of go, oh, I'm a person of a certain age. What, you know?
Maybe I should look into that.
Well, I have some work done. Mm-hmm. But then I catch myself and think, no, because you see people, you know, you see Hollywood and you go, that's not
looking good.
No, that's not good. Some people just cannot stop or just should have never done it in the first place.
Right.
You ever think about having some work done? I'm not. I'm saying that you need it or anything.
Right.
But you know,
all right, this is all of a sudden it's got personal.
No, I'm just like.
No, here's the thing. I just can never. First of all, okay. There's first, second, and third of all.
Okay.
How could paying money for that? I can't imagine ever doing.
Why? I like to. Okay, like a little neck thing. Right?
John's modeling. For those of you watching on YouTube right now, John is modeling the neck thing he'd like to have.
I feel bad about my neck.
Yeah.
Right? Is that?
So that's what you're.
That's what I would have. Like a little neck work done.
Okay, but see, the problem is you have the neck work thing done, and then you end up looking like the Joker.
Right, and then you have some eye stuff done. I'm surprised.
So second of all,
yeah.
Most of the time, I think it looks bad. Instead of, so now you've paid a lot of money to look worse.
But like you see some people, like you'll see like Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Or we saw a movie the other day. Who's Sean Penn's ex-wife?
Madonna.
Princess Bride, who's lovely.
Oh, really? He was married to the Princess Bride?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know what her name is.
Well, she's lovely. And I've seen her movie, and I think you see some women in Hollywood, and you think, oh, look, they're aging. I'm sure probably everybody there has had some work done. But then you see some women who are absolutely beautiful, who had, you know.
Yes.
And
right.
you think, look at that woman. She's gorgeous, and she's, 65 or 75. And you think, look how beautiful that person is.
Right. And she didn't have plastic surgery, you're saying. Yeah.
Where, plastic surgery sort of negates that. It's I know it's meant to enhance beauty, but I think
it takes it away.
It steals it in some way.
So add to that the pandemic, when everyone had to go online. All of a sudden, people are doing Zoom meetings. People are doing FaceTime because they can't be with family members or whatever. And people are horrified with how they look online. And so plastic surgery rates skyrocketed during COVID. Skyrocketed. So people were afraid to go to the ER to get their, the pain in their side looked at, but they were going to go to a plastic surgeon to get their nose reworked because they couldn't stand how they looked on Zoom.
Their neck.
Right. Well, news comes today, and I'm reading from a website called refinery29.com, which I think I've never been on before today. But the title caught my eye. Why are requests for plastic surgery reversals on the rise? So now that people have done so many things during COVID to alter their appearance, they're starting to think, I wish I wouldn't have done that. So it's kind of like the I regret my tattoo.
Oh. Right.
feeling. And so what do I do about it? So in particular, they're talking about the fox eye. Now, are you familiar with this? Okay. So this can either be a surgical procedure men have done it too, but mostly women, right? What you're doing with your fingers is pretty much what it would be.
How's it look? Do I look good?
So entertaining.
Does it look good?
If ever you watched what was happening, the show on YouTube, this would be your day.
This would be good.
The word Pittsburgh.
Hi.
Anyway.
Good to see you. Everything's happy.
Okay, so it's that snatched look all the celebrities have at the moment with the lifted eyes and eyebrows. Okay, so but the procedure to get the fox eye, to make what you're doing to yourself right now permanent, it involves pulling your eyebrows and eyelids up at an unnatural angle.
Right.
Kendall Jenner, Doja Cat often serve as inspiration for this look. Now, this can be done surgically or non-surgically using dissolvable threads.
Or tape.
But even the non-surgical option risks permanent damage, pain, bruising, infection, and scarring. Okay, so it goes on and on. The article talks about how this became a very popular thing, but now it is coming out of fashion. Okay, so people are now thinking, I think I'm done with the fox eye thing, except I just had surgery on my face, and now I'd like to have it
redone.
Exactly, or undone.
But once you have it undone, I mean, there's got to be something that takes its place, right?
Well, they said a tattoo can be removed. You can simply stop wearing or buying, like wedges that apparently people use. I don't know anything about that. But an eye lift actually carries serious risks. So there's it can leave permanent scars. There's no going back from this.
One of the things that you see the eyelid. Yeah, they lift your eyelid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I see that. I kind of go, oh, yeah, I could do that.
Well, we just hope you don't end up looking like this.
What do you mean? I don't know.
So this one person weighs in this article explaining that 6 months after his fox eye procedure, his body rejected the undissolved threads, and they started to come out from his skin. Right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's a sad story. I guess the reason that I thought of this is I get my hair colored.
Yeah.
I care about what I'm wearing.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy new shoes for this cruise event we're doing. When is
too much?
Yep.
Well, you see those stories, those poor people who get addicted to it. How about the woman who looks like Barbie?
That's creepy.
Right? She's had like ribs removed, and look at poor Michael Jackson. I mean,
remember we watched that time lapse?
Right.
Of him,
sad.
What he looked like from when he was a kid to when he was before he passed away. I mean, that's a tragic story.
It is. I don't know.
So it's like
I don't mean to make light of it or make fun of anyone who wants to have this done, because people want to look their best and feel good about themselves. That's what it's all about.
So how do you determine when it's too much?
Individual results may vary, I guess. Right. That's all.
So, but I don't think it should be results based. I think there has to be some time when you it has to be wisdom, right?
Well, everybody carries baggage about feeling bad about themselves, right? I mean, self-acceptance is a lifelong journey. Few people are kind of go, yeah, I'm pretty good with myself, right? Right?
Sure.
People just, it's hard to be.
But imagine if I came in and had plastic surgery. First off. You can.
Well, I'd talk about it on air.
Of course.
Of course I would. I'd critique it.
I would never hear the end of it.
I'd say, why are you so surprised? Why is everything like a shock to you? I mean, everything can't be that surprising. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's a spiritual issue as well, isn't it?
Well, I think it is. It has
of course
it has to be. But so I think it all is a spiritual issue. Yeah. How much your clothes, your shopping, your hair. Like, what are we striving for? And I'm saying it as someone who's,
Well, you're striving to.
As susceptible to that as anybody else.
You're striving to feel good about yourself.
Right.
Right. When you present, you want to feel confident and comfortable in your skin.
Yes.
So anything that I remember as a kid, a school kid, and this goes way back. I mean, decade. Someone I knew, sister, my friend's sister, had a nose job, and it was scandalous. I mean, the girl, she had a large nose, and so this was like.
See, and I have no problem with that at all.
Well, you see some people there. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You think, oh my gosh,
Right,
look at
that looks
But some
way
people,
better.
I mean, you go, well, that's a big honker. I mean, you would get that too as well.
Sure.
So, I don't know, Kath. It's very difficult.
Okay.
I feel bad, and I don't want to just mock anybody or dissuade
course
anybody
not.
from their choices in life. And I hope people feel good about themselves. And
don't go too far.
What's too far? That's the problem.
That's the question I brought up, and now we're 10 minutes into the segment. You still haven't answered?
No, individual results may vary. Is what my point. No, seriously. I mean, I feel bad about my neck. Is that too far? I mean,
We're going to look into a neck procedure for John.
All right. Hi, this is John Hall. Your neck.
101.5 WORD.
Plan now to join Word FM Tuesday, August 16th aboard the Gateway Clippers Empress for another fabulous dinner cruise. From 6:30 to 9, relax in the company of fellow believers as you enjoy a fantastic dinner buffet, music, and stunning views of the city skyline. The Ride Home's John and Kathy will be your cruise directors for this amazing night, sponsored by Trinity Jewelers. Don't miss the boat. Last year's event completely sold out. Reserve now at wordfm.com/dinnercruise.
We've attended 2 weddings this summer, both lovely couples beaming, in love, excited to start life together as husband and wife. The weddings themselves, though, couldn't have been more different. One was large, easily 250 guests, inside a gorgeous church. The other was a sweet affair in a backyard where there were about 25 of us, joy and cookie tables abounding. The future looks bright for both couples, but at each reception, there was plenty of talk of couples starting out and setting up house. Tellingly, both couples were putting off buying a home because of our current times. United Faith Mortgage, that wonderful family, you've heard them here on Word FM. Well, they're excited for first-time home buyers, whenever that may be. They've even got a 7-step blueprint of important steps on the road to buying your first home. These are odd times, but United Faith Mortgage is going to be there in good times and bad to ensure that owning a home, sweet home, is a possibility for us all. The direct lender advantage is everything, so check out United Faith Mortgage.
United Mortgage Corp, Melville, New York. MLS number 1330. Pennsylvania Department of Banking and Securities. Mortgage lender license 22672.
Maybe you're an elder in a local congregation or a deacon wanting to serve your church more faithfully.
Dr. Barry York on the Master of Theological Studies program at RPTS.
The wonderful thing about the MTS degree is you can actually do it all online. So they can take the degree online and grow in that theological ability that will allow them to either teach or work more faithfully in their local congregation.
Learn more about the MTS degree program and flexible online options at rpts.edu.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself, or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See? We didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Meet Brad. Brad's hard at work, or at least his website is. Ever since he added live chat with Salem Surround, Brad's customers are getting their questions answered 24/7. Website purchases have gone up 35%, and they're over 3 times more likely to buy from him again. No bots, just real people helping real people. Live chat. One of the easiest, most affordable ways Salem Surround can increase your business while you do other things, or nothing at all. Ask us how at surroundpittsburgh.com.
I was sitting in my backyard last night. Been watching this, and I know it's true. I've been watching a falcon that has been sort of appearing in a tree in my neighbor's yard for the past almost 2 weeks. It is unbelievable. Fabulous. I mean, I've seen red-tailed hawks on a regular basis in our backyard, but I've never seen a falcon. And it's a gigantic bird. And we're sitting out there with binoculars, and we're looking at this face and the nose on this thing. It's not a nose.
It's a beak.
It's a beak.
Right, sure.
I had plastic surgery.
Right, maybe now it's a
I mean,
nose.
you see this thing and you think, oh, God, you are incredible. And my son said he was out in the yard the other day when he saw the falcon come down and grab a mouse. Oh, my goodness gracious. I mean, God's creation is stunning, and that's just in your backyard. And we're all yearning to go and see the world, the variety and beauty of that. Terry Tim is back with us. Terry's a regular guest on our show. He's the pastor at Christ Community Church of the South Hills, here to talk to us about the hands of God, finding God in creation. Hey, Terry, good to see you.
Good to see you, John, Kathy. Good to be with you guys in the virtual world.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Zooming with us as you are, Terry. How are things?
Things are going pretty well. I'm enjoying. I love that story about sitting in your backyard, John, and seeing this bird. We do a similar thing on our back deck, and every once in a while, this huge hawk comes by, right? And then later in the night, we have bats in our backyard as well. So, and they're part of God's creation as well. And summer is such a beautiful time to be outside, to enjoy creation, and to, I like to say, get our heads out of the book and get our heads into the beautiful book, which is the book of creation. Mm-hmm. One of the great reformers, John Calvin, said, God has given us two books, the good book, which is Scripture, and we need to be people of the good book, grounded in God's word.
Yes.
God has also given us the beautiful book, which is the book of creation. And if we are willing to slow our lives down and pay attention, we will see the fingerprints of God all around us. I love Psalm 8, and actually each day of the week I have a psalm that I begin my day with, and on Tuesdays I begin with Psalm 8. And there's this, I mean, Psalm 8 is beautiful. It starts with those words, "Oh Lord, our Lord, how majestic
is your name."
Right? That psalm that Sandy Patty made famous many, many years ago. But there's this line, the psalmist says, "When I consider the heavens, the work of your fingers." Have you ever thought about God having fingers? Right? I mean, we know God isn't a human like we are, but that the psalmist writing thousands of years ago, most likely David, when he was looking at the creation, he thought about the fingers of God bringing things into being. Beautiful things, large and small, and everything in between. And that psalm reminds me that I need to pay attention to the fingerprints of God that are all around us.
Yes. I mean, Terry, you know this to be true. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, they revealed the first photos of the James Webb Telescope, and now we're being shown these incredible images. I mean, almost every day you see them on the web, and you can kind of go, look at that, look at that, look at that. We are surrounded by such beauty. But you know what? I always get a little anxious, because I know when people speak about, God's creation, there are some people who go, well, wait a second, maybe this is a different theological tract you're on. You're praising nature at the expense of God in some way. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's called pantheism. That everything is God. That's not true. But God has created everything, and it's a subtle difference, but it changes everything. Yeah, there are people. I mean, I talk to people all the time as a pastor. I don't need to go to church on Sunday. I don't need to be in worship. I just worship in my backyard. I worship in the golf course. I'm worshiping creation. And I'm like, that's not what we're about as people of faith. We're not worshiping the creation. We worship the Creator. And people of faith, men and women, boys and girls who have eyes to see and ears to hear and heart that respond, we can discover God in creation. But the invitation is always to worship, to adore, to praise, to commune with the one who, through God's fingers, brings things into being. Again, John, as you said, whether it's out in the cosmos, millions and millions of light years away, which is really cool. And I love things like the Webb telescope, but I'm learning to become more attentive to that which is right around.
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, no, that's good. And that includes the animals that live in your house, right? The people that live in your house. I mean, I have one of the craziest cats in the whole world. I mean, she is, talk about high maintenance. I mean, when I got this pet, I had no idea what I was in for. But I look at her and I say this out loud because I think it's important for me to do it. I just acknowledge that she is a creature that was made by God and that she's absolutely unique and she's beautiful and she drives me crazy. But there's something about being in close connection with an animal or with nature, being outside, whatever it is. I remember years ago, Dr. Hugh Ross, a good friend of ours, Terry, telling us that he had done a deep dive into atheism, and that rates of atheism are much, much lower in farming communities than they are in cities. And, you know, his theory on that is just that you can't be immersed in that much nature and have your whole livelihood controlled by it without believing that there is a God who has made it and who is supreme over it.
There's got to be something, I would say, a someone behind that.
Yeah.
Kath, it's funny you mentioned cats. I'm right now. I've been living in my daughter's apartment because of some medical situations with my daughter, and I'm not a cat person at all. But for the past 6 weeks, I've been living with 2 cats. And so this is an opportunity for my faith to be stretched and challenged. Like, God has created even cats. And my running line is like, in the eschaton, people always ask me, in the kingdom of God, are our pets going to be there? And I'm like, absolutely, especially with dogs. But here's the beauty of God. I think that when the kingdom comes in its fullness, I will be able to fully enjoy cats.
Good, good, Terry. I'll pray that you get to that end point.
But even as you talked about, so tomorrow I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to take my 6-year-old grandson Roman. I found an Airbnb in Somerset County that's on a working farm. They have a herd of bison, they have chickens, and they have 500 cattle. Wow. And part of this experience is you can like go into where they milk the cows and feed the chickens and this whole deal. And I mean, Roman's a city kid. He's grown up all around in suburbia. And I'm really curious to see how he responds to wide open spaces and seeing, you know, not pet animals, not small little furry creatures, but bison and you know, cows that are producing milk. I mean, right, little kids, where does milk come from? Well, it comes from giant eagle. Well, actually, it comes from cows, right? a gift from God. So that's a big, you know, it'll be fun to see how he responds to this. And for me, my journey, particularly this summer, has been to slow down and pay attention to the beauty of creation around me and allow that to draw me into a deeper communion with God, the creator who has painted the world with God's glory, again, through the work of God's fingers.
Yes. And Terry, you know, it all starts tiny, right? I mean, in our backyards to, as you say, you know, to go further beyond into the mass of the universe. I mean, I just... It seems overwhelming in some way, but the truth is that it's God is a God of creation. That's why I think, you know, when you look out and you see, you know, the universe, in many ways, I think, you know, this whole other conversation, of course, we cannot be alone because God is constantly creating. I just think, anyway. The beauty is amazing. In our backyard, we can't really have much. Like I can't have a garden unless I have to have, you know, like the Berlin Wall around it because there's deer that will come. So occasionally we'll see, like, you know, we've got some flowers that pop up, and you'll stick your head like into the flower almost, you know, kind of looking at, you know, the fabric, you know, the texture of it, the smell of it, the, you know, just the minutia of it. And then you step back and you look at the sky and, you know, the clouds and the birds. I mean, it's just so big to encompass. And then at the heart of it all, I think, I see all this. I'm aware of this. At the same time, God sees me. He's aware of me. He knows me and he loves me. And I get on some sort of loop here, and it's just too much to even try to comprehend.
Yeah. And the beauty of the Psalm 8, and I really encourage your listeners to read it, is not only does David in the Psalm talk about the vastness of God's creation, but ultimately David says the high point of creation is humankind, men and women who are created in God's image. And so while quite often our breath can be taken away by, the beauty of a hawk or a sunset or a cascading waterfall, but image bearers ought to take our breath away.
Yes.
And you were talking in that segment about, plastic surgery and how people, feel so desperate to change their image in some way, shape, or form. I think part of the reason why that happens is because we don't honor the creativity that God has placed in every single human being. And if we would honor that and have our breath taken away a little bit more when we interact with one another, I wonder how that might shape people's self-image and their identity in more life-giving, positive ways, where we'd have less of that stuff happening, and we could just recognize, wow, look how God created this person uniquely and this person uniquely. And I did a wedding 2 weeks ago, and one of my favorite things to do in a wedding is when the bride comes down the aisle and all the eyes are fixed on the bride. But I like to watch the groom and to see the face of the groom when he sees his bride walking down the aisle for the first time.
Yeah.
And the awe, the wow factor. And I always say to husbands, do whatever you can to hold on to that wow factor. And I think that we need that for all of us. What is man that you are mindful of him, that you care for them? Like you said, John, God sees us, God knows us, God cares about us. And one of the ways that we can, in a sense, be God to one another is to care well for the creation, including the whole cosmos, but most particularly as we care for men and women, boys and girls who bear the image of God all around us.
Fabulous. Terry Tim, Christ Community Church of the South Hills. Terry, we need to step away for a little bit. Terry, when we come back, would you mind, we talked last month about caregiving, and, you're in a long season of caregiving. I believe that resonated with our audience.
Yeah, we got a lot of good response on that,
We did.
Terry.
Would you mind going back into this conversation with us?
Sure. I'll be glad to stay with you.
Fabulous. Terry Tim is with us. We're going to talk, as we said, about caregiving. Terry, senior pastor, Christ Community Church of the South Hills. The only pastor, Terry. I just elevated to senior pastor. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Todd Nettleton, and this is the Voice of the Martyrs Radio. Philadelphos Santos Perez trafficked drugs before he came to faith in Christ. Today, he is a pastor faithfully sharing the gospel in Mexico despite persecution. In his home village, Pastor Philadelfo has been arrested and paid huge fines for refusing to participate in the village's traditional pagan festivals. He has even been denied food and water. Pastor Philadelfo no longer lives in his village and continually faces opposition because of his beliefs, yet he feels called to continue sharing the gospel. Pray Pastor Philadelfo would continue to share the good news about Jesus Christ throughout Mexico with those who are opposed to the gospel.
I will not let my brothers and sisters suffer in silence, nor will I let them serve alone. To join me in prayer for persecuted Christians, go to vomradio.net.
Before Bamboo HR, I feel like crying just thinking about it.
We were still handling everything via paper, and we literally had paper stacked. It was all spreadsheets and like folders. From the moment I started using it, I felt calmer.
As soon as we started using the Bamboo like onboarding checklist, I mean, it was extremely easy.
Headcount, turnover, years of service. Like there's just so many different reports that I use at different points in time.
I'm like totally set free to focus on the people, to focus on development, to focus on team dynamics.
It's freeing me up to do more of the stuff that actually matters in HR, which is interacting with people, learning from them, and then building stuff for them.
Everything is in this one place. I can't even imagine what it would be like without Bamboo HR.
We're Bamboo HR, and we'd love to set you free to do great work. Come try our award-winning all-in-one HR software for free with no strings attached. Visit bamboohr.com/HR for this free trial offer. That's bamboohr.com/HR.
This is Pastor Tom Hall. People are capable of such goodness. So why are we at war with each other? It turns out the Christian faith is completely realistic about human nature. Faith gives us the tools to examine ourselves and imagine a better future. Join us for worship at First Presbyterian Church of Pittsburgh, 326th Avenue, downtown, Sundays at 10:45 for our sermon series, What's Wrong with Us? Learn more at fpcp.org.
Listen on your smart speaker at wordfm.com, the Word FM app, iHeart, TuneIn, and on Odyssey. In your car or at home, too, at 101.5 WORD FM, Pittsburgh.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/our stories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Clear skies expected for tonight. We'll see a nighttime low of 61. Mostly sunny tomorrow with a high of 89. Tomorrow night, mainly clear, humid, low 72. Thursday will be very warm and humid with intervals of clouds and sunshine. A thunderstorm in the area late in the afternoon will reach a high Thursday of 88. Friday, cloudy, not as warm. It will be humid. We'll see a couple of thunderstorms and a high of 78. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon.
Reverend Terry Tim is with us. Terry's the pastor at Christ Community Church of the South Hills. We'll talk about that as this segment goes on.
Tara, we've talked to you over the years about lots of things, but the thing that I think has garnered the most feedback from our listeners was us talking about caregiving last month. And you've had a daughter who's been sick, and you've been in a caregiving role. Your wife, Patty, even more so. So walk us through that. Walk us through what's happened with Abby, what that's been like for your family, and where you are now.
Yeah, thanks, Kath. I appreciate that. And just the opportunity to share a little bit about our story. Our daughter, Abby's 29. And a couple of years ago, actually, right when we hit into the pandemic, she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And Hodgkin's is highly curable. In fact, usually when people contract Hodgkin's, it's 95% curable first time around.
Wow.
Abby didn't make that cut. She had a relapse of it about a year ago. And so she was in that 5% that didn't recover from it through the initial chemo and that process. And so, to be honest, this journey has, for our family, has been going on since July of 2020. We're in this, 2 years, actually a little bit more than 2 years. And she had a stem cell transplant in May, and she's in the middle of that recovery process of rebuilding her immune system. She's immunocompromised, and that's dangerous in all situations, but particularly in the time of COVID, it's particularly challenging. And that's the reason why I'm living in her apartment with her cats. She's at our house. And we learned a couple of things, that when your immune system is compromised, you can't be around pets. Any pets at all, any animals, because they carry potential germs and bacteria. And you can't be around plants.
Really?
And her apartment is filled with all sorts of house plants, and they give off some kind of spores and have some potential bacteria that can make it very risky.
Interesting.
And so part of the way that I'm caring for for my daughter is by not being very present in our household, because I'm out and about in the world, and she and Patty are pretty much isolating here in our house. And so caregiving requires lots of different ways of physical, emotional, spiritual care, sacrifices that a lot of people make, and that's part of our process. But in our family, Patty's been the heavy caregiver over the last couple of years with our daughter Abby.
So Terry, this is not a unique situation, unfortunately, but at the same time, it's unique to you. So you and Patty, you raised Abby. There she is, a little baby, and now you see her as a young adult, and she has a serious illness. I mean, how do you talk to God about that? What's it like in your prayer life, in your struggle? I can't imagine what it is to see your baby, your child, in pain and struggling. That's got to affect you in multiple ways.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's a parent, we want to protect our children from any kind of pain, physical, emotional. We don't want that to happen, and so it has been challenging for me. I've walked a lot of people through difficult things as a pastor. Heart disease, death, brokenness. It comes with the territory. So I'll be honest with you. There's a song that grates on my faith in my own walk with God. It's this song. It is well with my soul. I'll be honest with you. It's not super well with my soul.
I bet.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes if you're in a place where you're going through super challenging times and you can sing that full-heartedly, like in the midst of all the chaos, the pain, macro and micro, great. I got to be honest, like right now, there's a lot of tension in my soul. And some days I do better with that in my relationship with God. And other days, a lot of other days, I like to lean into the tradition of lament, like shaking my fist at God and saying, why did you allow this to happen? How long are you going to have to allow this to happen? Why is it that 95% of the people get cured with this, and my daughter's in the 5% that hasn't been cured yet? Like, what's going on there, God? And I say that to share my personal experience and to encourage people. I think God's big enough to handle that from us. God isn't looking for some kind of superficial, hey, whatever, God, it's all going to work out. You've got a perfect plan for me. Yeah, I do believe those things to be true. And yet there's a lot of sadness and grief and angst in my own life. And yet I trust God. And so it's a challenging space to be in.
I bet it is.
All right, Terry, our time's almost up, but last question for you. I was a caregiver for my parents, and it's hard on the family because everybody has to adjust when a member is sick, and everybody has to adjust when one of, my kids had to adjust when my dad got sick. My husband had to adjust when my dad got sick. That was very challenging for us. So talk about how you guys are navigating. You're living in different places. Patty has, her life isn't her own right now. What's that negotiation been like?
Well, one of the things that I've appreciated so much is to watch how Abby's siblings have come alongside her, helping out with her child, with her cats, with whatever it might be. And you're right, everybody adjusts to it. But it is challenging, and dealing with chronic illness kinds of things that caregiving can pull families apart. So one of the keys for us is I'm so grateful that this is going on in the summertime, because a couple days a week we are on our back deck outside and we have a family meal together.
Nice.
And that's just a shared space, a safe space where we can be around the table, and not a whole lot exciting is going on in the day, but being present to one another has been very important. And there's lots of ways to adjust. There's some of the physical work that just needs to be done, but sometimes it's just being present. No words necessary. Just hold that space for one another. And but I hear you, Kath. It's we are family systems, and Scriptures talks about when one part of the body feels pain, we all feel pain. We know that in our physical bodies, and we know that in our family systems as well.
Yeah. And, of course, there's many offshoots of this, Terry, but, I've never met Abby, but you're my friend, and I follow you along, on social media. I'm aware of you because, you join us here in your kindness and generosity on a monthly basis. So you've given me an opportunity. I pray for Abby and for you and for your family on a regular basis. And I think about you guys often, and of course, we want Abby to come back to full flourish and health. But, just the process that we're involved with, and to say Abby's name on the air and to invite our listeners into this prayer journey as well, for you, Terry, and your family, and Roman, and your wife, and everybody, we're all connected here. It's a gift and an honor to have this in our lives. So thanks for that. And, of course, prayers for Abby.
Well, I appreciate that so much, John, you naming that. One of the things that has been such a gift to us is just hearing from people that I'm not the biggest fan of social media, but this has been a beautiful thing. Yeah. Hearing from people checking in with me from all over the world, in a sense, the global body of Christ joining together, supporting our family in prayer. It's a gift that touches my heart deeply, and to know that like you said, John, we are connected as God's people, sisters and brothers. So thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to share this, and thanks to anybody who would just pause and say a prayer for Abby for full restoration of health. We are grateful for that.
Thank you, Terry. It's our honor.
That's the Reverend Terry Tim, Christ Community Church of the South Hills. We love you, Terry.
Love you guys too. Thanks so much.
Take care.
We'll take a quick break and step away for just a couple of minutes. When we do come back, the daily feature.
Does this make sense?
Does this make sense? That's next here on The Ride Home. Pittsburgh's Christian Talk on 101.5 Word FM, WORD.
101.5 WORD.
Coming up on Love Worth Finding.
Do you want to be a champion of faith?
Feelings are fickle. Faith keeps us steady. You're no stronger than your faith. The Bible says, according to your faith, be it unto you. And I want you to be a champion of faith.
Join us for more of Adrian Rogers' series, Champions of Faith, this month on Love Worth Finding.
Tonight at 11 on 101.5 WORD.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
MyPillow is having their biggest sheet sale of the year. Hey, this is John Hall. You've all helped build MyPillow into this amazing company. And now, Mike Lindell, inventor and CEO, wants to give back exclusively to his listeners. The Percale bedsheet set is available in a variety of colors and sizes, and they're all on sale. For example, the queen size is regularly priced at $89.98, but is now only $39.98 with our listener promo code. Order now, because when they're gone, they're gone. The Percale sheets are breathable, have a cool, crisp feel. These come with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. There's a limited supply, so be sure to order now. Call 1-800-391-0954. Use promo code WORD. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, use the promo code WORD.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Train up a child in the way they should go. Well, you know the rest. It's a calling you take very seriously as a Christian parent. And Trinity Christian School in Forest Hills seeks to honor your commitment by working together with parents to prepare students who are academically sound and spiritually ready to take their place in the world through a classical approach to education that helps build a faith from which they will never depart. Trinity Christian School, one of the top K-12 schools in Allegheny County, at trinitychristian.net.
Trip to Europe. Visit all 30 Major League Baseball stadiums. Go skydiving. Okay, so you know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Your Retirement Blueprint with Kurt Knodik and Ethan Lane of Accurate Solutions Group, Saturdays at 10 a.m. to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen every Saturday morning at 10 to Your Retirement Blueprint with Accurate Solutions Group. Investment advisory services offered through ASG Investment Management, LLC.
Does this make sense?
Yeah, this one makes sense.
Fancy salt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is something fairly new to me, but I'm on board.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, tell me about that.
We went somewhere for dinner, and I had some kind of, like beef. Yeah. Beautiful slice of beef, and, engaging the waiter. And he said, this has, and I'm like, what? It had this special salt. So apparently, as long as your arm, there's all these very particular flavored or high-end salts. Mm-hmm. I'm all up, please. It's a whole new other entry. It makes perfect sense.
It makes so much sense.
Oh, you're on board too.
It's the most sensible. I can't think of a more sensible thing.
Now, where did all this happen?
I don't know, but I'm so happy for it. I had some friends give me some salt, a special mix from the Bahamas on Sunday.
Bahamas salt?
Mm-hmm. Bahamian salt.
Get out.
It was a Bahamian salt combination. When I tried it last night, I tried it on some pasta.
Yeah.
It was like flavor explosion. Fabulous. Bring the fancy salt.
Yeah. I'm on board as well. 100%. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Salt. Okay. All right. Does this make sense? The wall calendar. Now look, I got my phone. I've got my calendar on, all that. I have my day timer, my book with all my appointments and all that.
Mm-hmm. We have our show calendar.
Yeah.
Which we are in all the time.
But in my kitchen, I got a wall calendar.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
See, that doesn't make sense, John.
It makes perfect sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
100% the wall calendar makes sense. What, you don't have a calendar in your house? You don't have a wall calendar in your house?
No, we have, because we're in the electronic age, John.
First of all, it's a piece of art. Come on,
That's a little bit of a stretch.
No, it is. Okay. No. Every year we go calendar shopping. Well, what are you going to get this year? Well, you want to do a little Van Gogh? Little Matisse, and every month there's a new image, a big, beautiful, image.
Okay, but how does that,
No.
If you just had a joint calendar on your phone.
See it. There it is. We're talking in the kitchen, having a little nosh, and we go, okay, look, there's a date. They'll flip it over. Okay, and then you see it. It's like nuts and bolts. It makes perfect sense.
No, I don't think it
Highly
does make
recommended.
sense. Because here's because if you make an appointment, how's your wife going to know about it?
No, I'm not using it as the actual. I'm using it as a reference tool. That's all I'm saying.
What,
it's
like
not
a sundial?
It's not. It's not a working. It's not a working calendar per se. It's more of
well, then it's fluffy.
No, it's not. It's a great little reference tool.
I don't think that makes
real work is done online. But
what if you went from 10 years old to 25 years old in just a few years? Okay, Ms. Creepy. Like from Let's Play Dolls to I can't believe the stock market today. Or like triple mac and cheese, please, to I'd like the triple double kale salad with beets, please. Uncle Ryan says the value of people's homes have jumped like 15 years worth, lickety-split. Uncle Ryan said lickety-split?
Most of our homes have made a decade or two type jump in value. Pretty much lickety-split, like never before. Usually, people move homes when they gain that much value. But that's not happening either, because of how expensive homes are. Which is why cash-out refinances are a triple mac and cheese hot thing right now. Cashing out that newly spiked value to use for home updates, paying off debt, or just life. If you'd like to see your options, you'll never get any pressure from us at United Faith Mortgage.
United Mortgage Corp, Melville, New York. NMLS number 1330. Pennsylvania Department of Banking and Securities. Mortgage lender license 22672.
Our biblical beliefs about marriage, human sexuality, and gender are increasingly countercultural. In fact, our views are often considered offensive and infringing on personal freedom. Sometimes this makes Christians look like the bad guys. How should we respond? Request your copy of the book Being the Bad Guys, available today at truthforlife.org.
The word around town is that Pittsburgh homeowners are choosing doing it right when it comes to their roofing, siding, and remodeling projects.
That's because since 1984, Doing It Right roofing, siding, remodeling continues to set the bar through clear communication and an installation that's second to none.
Doing It Right employs only the most experienced professionals to install and oversee your project.
They'll stop at nothing to ensure your satisfaction, doing business honestly, taking no money down and no payment until the job is complete.
Doing It Right will ensure all work is installed to the industry's highest standards, then back it all up with their lifetime workmanship warranty.
As a prestigious multi-award-winning Owens Corning Platinum contractor, as well as a VSI certified installation contractor, you can't go wrong with Doing It Right.
Mention Johnny Cathy for a discount off your estimate.
Call 724-NEW-ROOF for a free project evaluation or visit roofingcontractorpittsburgh.com.
Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
What if there was one place, one app, one website where you could find all the great Christian radio stations and programs in America, all in one place? Finally, ChristianRadio.com exists. Find 101.5 WORD there and many others, and the ministries you trust and love. The highest standards are met here. Family-friendly, inspiring, with a Christian worldview. It's all here on your computer and on your mobile device. Find us now at ChristianRadio.com.
Happy to be celebrating National Ice Cream Sandwich Day with you.
I'm on
now,
board.
I shouldn't say celebrating because I haven't celebrated it yet, but I would like to celebrate it. Is
Will
what
you
I'm
go
saying.
home on the way home? Stop
Well,
and
I'm thinking about it. I am
grab a
thinking
little
about it. Would you like a little background on it?
Sure.
Created, what year do you think?
1902.
What, you're good at this too? 1899.
Okay.
By an unknown pushcart peddler in New York City. But originally, they were not as they are today. They were vanilla ice cream pressed between milk biscuits.
What are milk biscuits?
I think milk biscuits are like they're kind of vanilla-ish. They're like
a Necco wafer.
No, they're more like think of like a buttermilk biscuit.
No, wait, I didn't mean Necco wafer. I mean Nilla wafer.
Oh, okay, well, that's very different.
Nilla wafer. I knew there was a wafer in it.
Those two things don't have very much in common.
Necco wafer. What's a Necco? You know what a Nilla wafer is,
The
don't
black licorice ones. The chalky things. They're very small.
Listen, only time we could have candy in the Catholic grade school, we were practicing First Holy Communion, and we got Necco wafers. And man, sister, you were at the top of my list for the day. Thank you.
Oh, my gosh. I'm not sure what a milk biscuit is, but I think it's like a pretty bland type of, thing.
A baby biscuit.
Like a rough cookie that you would pour milk over as like a dessert in a bowl.
Okay.
That's my guess.
If you've lost your teeth.
Right. So I think the chocolate thing that we have going now
much better.
Is much, much, much better. Your feelings about the ice cream sandwich?
100%. I am on board. Anybody says, hey, you want an ice cream sandwich? Heck yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Any way, shape, or form.
Christy.
Yes. All day, every day, any type of ice cream sandwich.
Yep, thumbs
I'm
up.
taking.
No, but now there's all these different, of course, varieties, right?
Yes.
You can get Neapolitan ice cream sandwiches.
I don't want
or,
that.
what? I don't know.
Okay, so listen, I went on to Spoon University, which this is a group of people that do a bunch of, taste testing of food items and that sort of thing. So they did an official ranking of ice cream sandwiches that you can buy, not ones that you can make at home.
Like the big manufacturers.
Right, okay.
What do you got?
They have ranked the top 4.
Okay.
Okay, would you like me to tell you what they
please,
are?
Yeah.
Number 4 is the Klondike.
That's not an ice cream sandwich.
Okay.
That's not an ice cream sandwich.
They're saying it's an ice cream sandwich.
Well, they're wrong.
Okay. Well, they also didn't like it very much.
That's not.
They said, biting into it, the hard chocolate shell cracks and sticks to your fingers, and the ice cream quickly melts and drips everywhere, making it by far the messiest of all of our choices. However, the ice cream itself has a great vanilla taste and isn't too firm, and the chocolate shell is definitely on point in terms of flavor.
Well, Spoon University flunked that course. It's just wrong.
Number 3, Blue Bunny birthday party.
Oh, I like a blue bunny.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so now this brand doesn't have the chocolate sandwich.
What does it have?
It has like the vanilla. The cookie part is vanilla instead of chocolate.
I'd eat that.
Okay. This says the sandwich tastes exactly like birthday cake, earning it major points. Okay. Number 2, North Star cookies and cream ice cream sandwiches.
Cookies and cream. Okay.
See, I'm fine with that. Does that bother you? Is that a little too retro? Here's the number 1, and I'm so 100% in on this. The holy grail of ice cream sandwiches, the Nestle Chipwich.
Chipwich?
Yes. That is where it is.
Yes.
I'm not sure about that. It might be too much.
Oh my gosh, it is not too much. The ice cream is milky and rich, thin enough you can bite into it. You got 2 chocolate chip cookies. It's the total bomb.
Well, let's celebrate.
Ride Home with John and Kathy, a production of Salem Media Group.
This is Jerry Boyer for townhall.com. A new poll from Trafalgar tells us